Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back with another live stream / recording of Hearthstone. Today is February 14th, Valentine's Day, or also known as Single Awareness Day for all those lonely hearts out there. Before we hop in, I streamed for 6 hours on Monday and there was no audio playing, both from my microphone or the video game itself, and I'm incredibly confused because that video stream got 22 views. There were people on the chat and nobody bothered to mention it to me at all. On top of that, I may have accidentally deleted a video or two, so if you're seeing any gaps in the pre-recorded footage, that's kind of what happened. I'm not going to upload any of that 6 hours of content. In fact, it was all pretty pointless because I talked about things and I've done a moderately decent job of bringing back that news, and hopefully we'll have time to do it. We're also needing to get all of the daily quests done right now, and I'm not going to trade out these 60s. So for the Asian account, I need to play warrior cards and mage cards. I think I have a warrior deck in the Asian account already, so warrior cards are here. So the only thing left would be to see if maybe I can, in this custom mage, check to see if these are mage cards. Yes, for the most part they are. So we'll stick with that, play with that. Come in here, we have a tavern brawl too, which we'll start with that. What is the tavern brawl before we go? Bosses are back and they brought their new friends. Find out who's the new champions, choose a class, and we'll give you a corresponding dungeon boss to play. Alright, so we can do that. So I'm looking at the audio right now. I've double checked in every way I imagine I can, and it seems like it is at the right point and audio is playing. I'm thinking, yeah. The reason why the audio messed up is because OBS updated, and when OBS updated, a plugin that I installed a long time ago was not compatible, and I had to jump through a lot of hoops to get that plugin uninstalled, and I assume that's the reason. Actually, it could very well also be just because I installed the Windows Update, Fall Creators Update, or just a random instance of, let's see, your hero has taunt. Summon a random Murlocs. So we're playing as dungeon bosses, or a selection of dungeon bosses, I imagine, from the Kobolds and Catacombs. I guess that would be the thing that would... yeah, sometimes my computer just resets its USB connections. And because my Blue Yeti, while it is a very good microphone, is USB, you run into these instances where you very quickly and very easily will have everything just slightly reset. And the Blue Yeti is also running the speakers, as aka the headphones I'm wearing. So both the output and the input get changed. I've tried to fix this by setting it in OBS to use the default device. That's probably the better move, I'm thinking. But that too might turn out to be a mistake. So since my hero has taunt, unless I have some other character with taunt, then who knows? All secrets cost 0. Apparently one secret just got played because of another secret. Like, how did that even happen? Oh, because of the mad scientist's ability. Like, if there was a secret that could automatically draw another secret from your deck, you're talking like the spirit board type of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And honestly, that wouldn't be a terrible thought. That would be kind of cool if there was 5 secrets that one character could have. I would assume it would be the Warlock, and one, by having those 5 cards in your deck, when one secret is triggered every time your hero is attacked, it would summon the next secret. Or maybe it would, at the end of a turn, summon the next secret. And then all 5 secrets would have to be on the hero to automatically win the game. Yeah. Yeah, you could pretty much directly steal that concept. I think it's called Spirit Board, or Ouija Board, whatever. In Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like Exodia, except for the difference is Exodia just has to be in your hand, and I think Spirit Board actually had to be on the field. There is a ton of news. It is a little weird that the quest for 3000 is ending today. Like, it really hadn't occurred to me that Valentine's Day was going to be right in the middle of this whole mess.
It's time.
And I'm getting more and more news. I can't even go forward to the first news articles because I'm constantly getting re-inundated. Oh wow! Look at that! That's just straight up, I give up. You can't win then. I just got the ultimate combination there. He's immune and he has taunt, so you can't attack. Wow. Well, that didn't quite work. Let's go ahead and play Warrior here too, and then we'll just play some regular games. One game was not going to play 50 mage cards, but this isn't going to take too long. Oddly, I have a ton of news and not too much to actually do today, since I played extra in that 6 hours on Monday and got all of the daily quests done. I even played Friends and got watch and learns like crazy, so my main account in particular is higher in its amount of gold over average. And we're about to the point where we will hit let's see, like we're almost to 5,000 gold, which means the next expansion should be announced pretty soon. In the next month or so, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the next week, actually. Put a minion from each deck into the battlefield. Alright. I'll just do this. That worked fine. And we'll just go ahead and kill this guy. Now, it'll be interesting to see if this taunt helps this character or not. So,
Do not touch the displays.
Publishers are in trouble. There's really no better way to say it than this. Publishers are in trouble with a considerably large amount of... Oh, he still can hit the wrong thing. With Google and Steam. So Google has removed 77% of Game Dev Tycoon's positive reviews. In a blog post published today, this is from Gana Sutra, Game Dev Tycoon developer Patrick Klug pointed out how Google removed 77% of positive reviews written by Android players from the Google Play Store. This is notable for other independent developers planning on releasing their titles to Android devices, as Klug notes that the problem isn't an isolated incident. He traces it to some research that puts the blame on Google's algorithm for preventing fake reviews. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Play Store, much like the Android, the iOS store, is flooded. Like, absolutely, the Android store is flooded with fake reviews. And I hear the iOS store is pretty much the same. So, what's kind of weird here is Game Developer Tycoon is kind of coldly looking at this and not even beginning to address whether he specifically or somebody working for him was colluding. I suppose this is a question of collusion. Did the Game Developer Tycoon know that he was getting fake reviews, or did this game just get a bunch of fake reviews like everything else? And I would almost certainly assume that he may have hired somebody that gave him fake reviews. Or it could also be that there are no fake reviews and Google is just really, really bad. 6 days after releasing Game Dev Tycoon, Klug reports over 2,000 players had rated the game with a 5 score. An hour later, 25% of those 5-star reviews were gone. Since then, 77% of the positive reviews have been permanently removed. We are not engaging in any dubious practices regarding reviews, writes Klug. Well, there's some wiggle words here. We aren't. So maybe they know somebody else who is. Dubious practices. It may be very industry standard at this point to have fake reviews. We don't incentivize reviews. We don't buy reviews. We don't review the game ourselves, and we don't even tell our friends to review it. The question of why remains. In a weird way, it probably is some form of spam and bots just going through every game.
Greetings.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised for a second if every single app gets fake reviews, particularly popular ones, regardless of whether the developer is involved or not. I suppose at the core of it, you should just be happy with Google removing those reviews. You should say, we only want legitimate players to give legitimate reviews. We don't want our game to look like it's trying to pull some shenanigans. Let's see. Klug reached out to Google, who explained that Game Dev Tycoon's ratings were purposely removed in line with the company's comments and rating policy. The policy page provides that Google will split into the policies page provided by Google is split into 2 parts. One section deals with preventing abuse. The other acts as a guideline for writing a review, such as try to include both positives and drawbacks. So it's very possible that then Google and nobody else looks at the Play Store as a place that only wants helpful reviews. Which is fair enough. I mean, there's tons of reviews of games on Steam, and we'll get to Steam in a moment, that just say, great game, love it, and they're not very helpful. Fake reviews on Amazon are even worse. But it is discounting a lot to have a much... If you're limiting your feedback to only people who can be articulate, you're going to have probably more helpful feedback, but lower numbers. And with lower numbers, there's more room for manipulation or inaccuracy. After reaching out to players and reading their deleted reviews, Club came to the conclusion that Google must be using the same algorithm to fake reviews on both free-to-play games and premium games. Well, of course, why would they be using a different algorithm? Like, that kind of makes no sense at all. Why in the world would you even begin to think they were using a different algorithm? For premium versus free-to-play. Google probably invented and tuned the algorithm to remove the kinds of fake reviews from free-to-play titles, he writes. But for a premium title where everyone pays $5 to even be allowed to write a review, this just doesn't make any sense. Not everybody pays $5 to write a review on the store, I can guarantee you that. He laments how the removal of positive reviews is disrespectful. Game Dev Tycoon's players is disrespectful. I guess it's supposed to be two Game Dev Tycoon players. He goes on to criticize Google for being content to remove thousands of reviews but lacks any safeguards to pirate sites if you want to search download Game Tycoon Game Dev Tycoon APK for free. Seems like kind of a rant there, like, and he sounds more guilty now, like he actually did hire and make fake reviews than if he had just said nothing at all. I guess that's the inherent problem with something like this, is that the one that speaks out is going to have that Streisand effect. Really, you should just well, really, you should have just not said anything. Let's see. If I was to look and search Game Developer Tycoon, and let's see, on the Apple Store, it has a rating of 4.9 with 2,851 reviews, and on the Android Play it has a rating of 4.9 with 716 views. So in the long run, you have the Apple Store, which probably doesn't get rid of any positive things, and it's the exact same score. So what's he really complaining about? Like, it really does just make him sound like he was guilty and he got caught. Maybe that's not really the case, but that's what I take from this. So for this one, and probably for the other story that's very similar to this story, I say good on Google. Save yourself some hard drive space. Get rid of the unhelpful reviews. Don't even say they're fake reviews. It doesn't matter. Just say these reviews aren't helpful. They're just one comment. I imagine there's room to have two categories of reviews, where it's like people who wrote a review that was helpful have rated this 5 stars. People that just gave it a star rating have rated this 10 stars. Although it's a 5-star system. The point there being, let the end user decide, but that makes it a pretty complicated system to understand. So, good on Google. I would say bad on Google or bad on YouTube is Susan Wojcicki, CEO of YouTube, retweeted, and I talk about her way more than I should. Like, I should have to. She retweeted the YouTube TV, which is the thing she really wants to run. That's the only way I see she doesn't get fired eventually, is that Google is going to split off YouTube TV from YouTube and absorb YouTube or completely into Google. YouTube TV being, I guess, an effort to compete in the TV market, but also in a very real way, an effort for them not to care about the YouTube content creators at all, and instead just pander to the old media. In a really odd way, it's very possible that this the attacks from Washington Post and Wall Street Journal on PewDiePie and YouTube and just the sensationalization of a lot of the problems that actually do exist on YouTube, where they went a little harder, they wrote more about it, they talked about it more than they normally would have, simply because they wanted to have more bargaining power when it comes to this YouTube TV deal. And YouTube agreed some kind of agreement, so now they have TBS, Adult Swim, TCM, CNN, True TV, HLN, TNT, and Cartoon Network, which Adult Swim and Cartoon Network are on the same channel unless they're doing something different on YouTube TV. They've always been, or at least for the most part, they've always been this odd two channels that air on the same number thing. Depending on whether YouTube TV worked, if it had some kind of set-top box that really worked and was easy to work with, like I have Dish, and with their newest Hopper update, they've made their set-top boxes worse, and the prices are constantly going up every year, and the amount of TV I personally am watching is going down. So I would potentially consider YouTube TV, but in all honesty, it is such a middle step for me. I could easily just live with Netflix and Amazon Prime. Like, you get 2 of those, you have most TV shows a season later. And I've not watched enough TV now in my life that I am far enough behind that I can easily enjoy watching, say, Doctor Who, which is a great example, on Amazon Prime in the United States a season later, and not have to spend the extra effort to have BBC America, which is one of the higher cable channels, to get. Let's see. I'm trying to get to this other article. And so many articles. So many articles. Come on. I know I opened it like 2 or 3 times. By Claw and Cutlass. It would be funny if I put out like an app on, or somebody, I guess not me, there's really no reason why I would spend my time on that. Just put out a random app on Google Play and then see if it ever got any reviews without promoting it or without it ever being anything anybody would review, just to see what the baseline is. And I would hope that would have at least occurred to Google to do that, to have some honey trap apps out there that like don't launch, don't install at all, don't do anything good at all. Of course the baseline there is pretty low because there are apps that just give you a black wallpaper and that's it. And for the people who just want a blank black wallpaper on their desktop, they're probably pretty happy with that app. And probably a very small percentage of those people would rate it well. Alright, finally found this at a store. Valve has removed a publisher's games from Steam for manipulating review scores. Wild Buster Publishers. Let me try and read this again. Wild Buster Publisher, Incel Games, strongly encouraged its employees to buy and review the games. How many more of these cards do we need to play? Well, it'll be a little bit of a journey, but it's all I have to do is play cards for the Asian account. Following the circulation of an email that was apprehended by appeared to extort Incel Games employees to purchase copies of the hack and slash MMO Wild Buster Heroes of Titans and review it positively or else. Valve has announced that all of the publisher's games have been removed from Steam. I want to see the list. The email sent in mid-December reportedly by the studio's CEO and posted to Reddit yesterday, so this was a Reddit story I didn't even see. I spent most of yesterday not doing anything. Yeah, more and more it's getting like that. Between the long winter months with little sunlight and seasonal affective disorder that I jokingly claim to have, and just YouTube drama and just general laziness, more and more I'm enjoying days where I'm not doing anything. And I have work to do. I have videos to schedule. I have several games that I'm playing. Like Peg was a game I couldn't comment on anymore, but I went back and played more of that. I'm still trying to get the final achievement in You Must Build a Boat. I'm trying to play more Plague Inc. So I'm playing games that I've already played, but there's really no commentary to it. I suppose I could live stream some of that if I was just going to be really lazy. Maybe that'll be a way I can improve yeah, maybe next time I feel like I'm not going to do anything all day. And it's just a lot of build-up and a lot of not big motivation to play Assassin's Creed Revelations. Anyways, back to the story. The email pointed out that Wild Buster had only 6 user reviews at Steam at the time, far fewer than the number of people who worked at the studio. Furthermore, some employees had apparently indicated they weren't actually interested in purchasing or reviewing the game at all. Which, why would you? If you're working on the game, that's a big difference than being a random game player. Frankly, this leaves me pretty disappointed, it states. Of course, I can't force you to write a review, let alone tell you what to write. But I should not have to. Neglecting the importance of reviews will ultimately cost jobs. If WB fails, Incel fails, IME fails, and then we'll have no jobs next year. WB being Wild Busters, not Warner Brother. this.
Thirsty to the
And this. And this. And return. So I'm asking you to either do the following: buy the game and present me with the receipt until Friday night, for which, together with the game for me, will be reimbursed within 24 hours, or explain to me tomorrow why you do not wish to do this. I would like to discuss this individually and privately with each of you and follow up. Wow, this guy has nothing better to do with his time. He does not need to be the CEO. Like, if you've got time, even with a small office of say 15 employees, if you've got time where you think in a week you're gonna talk to all those employees about something so frivolous and stupid as this, this is ridiculous. Like, the Reddit post quickly came to the attention of Valve, which launched an investigation into the claims and found unacceptable behavior involving multiple Steam accounts controlled by the publisher of the game. The publisher appears to have used multiple Steam accounts to get positive reviews on their own games. This is a clear violation of our review policy and something we take very seriously. And it kind of is something they have to take very seriously, because Valve as a storefront, a major part of it is the credibility of its reviews and helping motivate people to buy the right game so they have a good experience, so they continue to purchase things. Like, Valve and any storefront's goal is not to convince everybody to buy everything. Like, nobody is going to buy everything that's available for purchase on Amazon.com. The goal is to get them to buy the things that they will enjoy or need, and so that they associate Amazon.com with a good feeling, so they continue to purchase, and they potentially will purchase more. If you look at Amazon.com's one of their latest commercials, it is just their cardboard box with the smile logo singing and invoking feelings of happiness, and that's really what they're all about, is trying to have that feeling. You don't want to get to the point where it is a Walmart feeling, where a lot of people, even if they do shop at Walmart, aren't having a great experience. They're not happy. They're not happy with the other people at the store. They're not happy with the service at Walmart. That's the exact opposite of what you want to have happen. Moving on with this article, I'm reading almost all of it. Incel Games confirmed in an email that the December message posted to Reddit was in fact sent to employees, which it said numbered about 20 in total. So yeah, if these were 1 hour meetings that you thought you had time to have, you very possibly need to be fired. Like, clearly this guy needs to be fired. He had nothing better to do than to write this email in the first place.
job's done.
Like, but denied that there was any ulterior motives at play. It was meant to rally people's support, including advertising the game, to their friends and family, in the hopes to simply get more reviews, the company said. I was never intended to threaten anyone, but just state the importance of reviews for the whole company. No staff has received penalties for not buying the game or writing a review. There also never were text or instructions provided for the reviews. It doesn't matter. You've literally in your email proposed a pay-for-play scenario, a pay-for-reviews. You literally told them they could get the game for free because you would refund them the purchase of it if they present a receipt. And People who own Incel's games on Steam will still have full access to them, and Incel says it's in discussions with Valve, presumably with aiming to have its games restored. We need to see specifically what Incel games are there. It is said that it will continue to develop its game and maintain it available through other channels, although obviously losing access to Steam is going to hurt. It could lead to further confusion and headaches for Incel's gamers alike. Wild Busters and Guardians of Ember remain available for purchase on the Humble store, for instance, but whether the provided Steam keys will continue to work isn't known. I've emailed Humble for clarification. I think that should still work, but it might not. Like, that's always a problem with some of these fake games, or just games in general that get kicked off Steam, is that there's keys out there that probably will work. Let's see, Incel games. Hey, I own Wild Buster Ultimate Edition. This will be interesting. But I can't do anything with it because I can't go to the store page. Let's see. And if I just type in the word Incel, it takes me to Lovers and Dangerous Space-Time for some reason. I don't know why that worked. I think because nope, can't see Incel games on Steam anymore. Let's see, the next link down takes you to Wild Tangent Games, which says World of Fishing. Let's see if we can find a wiki.
I must choose. What now?
There's a giant bomb listing. Let's try that. Counted games published 1 giant bomb. I don't think that's right. Wild Buster.
Thank you.
Wow, I cannot even find a Wikipedia article for Incel games. Well, and it's Incel, I-N-S-E-L. Okay. So apparently I do own one of these games. That's kind of the reason it's kind of cool to have games that get kicked off Steam, because that in a weird way means I could cover games that are kicked off Steam and have footage on YouTube of games that other people couldn't make footage of. Like, if you bought the keys on Humble Store, I guess, would you be able to get a refund?
Your soul shall be mine. Victory or death.
Like, So, let's move over to the next article, because I'm sure you've heard enough of that. A Maltese publisher has been banned for Steam for review fixing. Maltese publisher Maltese is a different game made by Incel. Maltese. I can't look up Maltese because Maltese is it's a name of a dog.
Job's done.
So search Maltese
Your soul shall suffer.
video.
Why do you
And then game. I imagine that won't even bring up anything. Yeah, never heard of this game, and I can't look up any information on it. So Maltese, M-A-L-T-E-S-E, as you would expect it to be spelled. Again, this is Incel Games, so those are two games that we know. I guess I could come over to Steam and see if I can search Maltese. I don't own a game called Maltese. And the web browser has stopped working. Guess we could exit. Oops. Well, I can't exit Steam because I have Assassin's Creed running, and I probably just screwed up Assassin's Creed. Alright. So yeah. Here on this Gamma Sutra article talking about it, someone's making the argument that Steam should pull all publishers for doing the same thing, because let's face it, like all the big time video game reviewers are getting special access, if not free game codes for reviews. There's a slight difference there in that it's not direct employees, but it's not a big difference. But you can't really do that either, because if you were to just ban all games that ever gave a game code to reviewers, then you'd be banning most of the store. And there was something very threatening in that letter of threatening somebody's job, that as long as in the United States, a lot of times all you really need to do is hide your corruption well enough, and then it becomes acceptable. And if you come out straightforward with your corruption, then it is unacceptable. And that's kind of what's happening in this case. Well, moving on to the actual next story. Deal 2 damage if it survives, draw a card. The THQ Nordic has bought yet another company with their continuing movement to becoming the old THQ, which I think is going to bite them in the butt, really. They've bought the Saints Row owner Koch Media. Now, Koch Media, like, am I wrong about this? But isn't Koch Media like the... I must be thinking of a different Ah, yes. it says under the Wikipedia for Koch Media, for the multinational corporation owned by the Koch brothers, see Koch Industries. Yeah, Koch Industries is a huge organization that does all kinds of things, but mostly lobbies and tries to control politics in the United States. Let's see. So, Koch Media Enterprises by Franz Koch and Clemens Kondratis, whereas the Koch brothers are, let's see.
Relax.
Let's see, Charles Koch and David Koch. So they're different Koches. Not a very common name to have two companies by that name. You're that close. So when we're looking here at Koch Media, they own Deep Silver, and so Deep Silver, let's see, Deep Silver did Dead Island Riptide. Let's see. Wow. They've also apparently done several TV series, including The Guild Season 2, X the series, Earth 2160, wait, are these list of Deep Silver video games, or are these Deep Silver movies?
Job's done.
Agents of Mayhem, Cartoon Network games, Dead Island 1. I don't think Deep Silver produced that, but they may have published Dead Island 1 because that's Dying Light's people. Homefront: The Revolution, a terrible game. Killer's Dead, a decent game. Metroid 2333, the Metro series. So that new Metro series, Metro Exodus, now benefits them.
I can't play that.
Let's see. Destroy this damage. Prison Break: The Conspiracy, Ride to Hell: Retribution, Risen, and then the Saints Row series. I don't think like Stalker might come back. A lot of these games might come back as remasters, but I think a lot of these games are also just going to be off the table. If THQ has half a thought in their head, I can't imagine they're going to bring back all of those games. But they probably will try to do something with Saints Row, and the latest Saints Row game didn't really do it quite as I would have liked it, or as most reviewers would have liked it. I haven't played it. They bought Koch Media in a deal worth 121 million euro. So that gets them Saints Row, Dead Island, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and Shenmue 3.
Back to work. Not a valid target.
Let's see. This move, of course, sees the likes of Saints Row and Metro again attached to the THQ name, where it joins the likes of Biomutant, Vicious Police ELEX, and Darksiders 3 when that comes out. It is getting kind of ridiculous. Like, THQ Nordic is going to be releasing a new AAA game every 6 months or less. in the next couple years, just by their major purchases of old companies that used to be under the THQ name. Really, I imagine this is more of a Section 23 scenario where I've told this story before, but there's a law in Texas in the United States where you can keep the licenses and keep all the profits of licensing anime, but go bankrupt under Section 23 and not have to pay any of your debts at all. And so an anime licensor literally did that and renamed their new company, which is exactly the same as the old company, Section 23. I wouldn't be surprised if the company had a hand in writing the law that way to allow them to do that. But that is also not unheard of in Japan to write things off as a loss and then shut down one company and then build a new company under a different name. It's pretty typical. It's what movie theaters have been doing for decades too. Is make a production company specifically designed so that you can go bankrupt if the movie doesn't make any profits, or you can stay in business and if it does, and then the parent company takes the profits and revenue anyway, so the production companies always do go bankrupt or shut down. Alright, well, we've covered Steam, Google, and Valve not allowing fake reviews anymore, which is good to hear. So maybe I can start to cover some of this other news. And I've got a ton of it. But I'm also going to break up this recording after this game because I want to actually get this stuff going well. Today being Valentine's Day, certainly there is not going to be too many people watching the stream, I would imagine, which is fine. People can catch it later. I always kind of wondered the level of communication you should have on any of these holidays. Can you email somebody? Can you text somebody? Or is the entire day just off limits if you are not involved in whatever that holiday is?
I feel empty inside.
Not a valid target.
Oh, can't attack there. There's a game called Pendula Swing, Pendula. So, is that a word, pendula? Or is it pendulum? Let's see, Wikipedia. Pendula. From pendulum by analogy Latin. Hey, it is. It is a real word. Today I learned Pendula Swing is an adventure game set in a fantasy version of the Roaring Twenties. And boy, is it a fantasy version. You have like the Roaring Twenties style of clothing, but there's a, what would this be? A dwarf in like a riveter's outfit, blacksmith's outfit. There's a human in what I would call a flapper's outfit, with an overcoat and hat. There is a troll in a snazzy suit. There's a gremlin or goblin in a newsboy outfit, and then there is an elf in a fancier suit. So the elf is kind of like a high-class suit, where the troll is more the Day of the Races suit. So, boy, is that a interesting look. just to catch your eye. And so many games might have good gameplay, but then they're boring. Boring to look at. Pinja Swing is as much a social puzzle game as is an adventure game, a story where your decisions and assumptions shape your interactions, namely convincing people to help you with your main goal, recovering your stolen legendary axe. Like, they've got something here with your heart. Let's see if they can do something in 2019 when this game is expected to be released. This is one of those PC Gamer advertisements, though. Clearly, like, there's no reason at all to talk about this game right now. I suppose I should open packs, because if I were to get one of the cards that was recently nerfed, I could turn it back into dust and use that to my advantage. So I just got 5 cards. How many of those were new? 3. On my Asian account, that's not too bad. It's kind of an expected amount to get 3 or more, as we're slowly filling in our collection on the classic cards. I suppose that eventually, if all 3 accounts just have classic cards, I could make one classic deck and have it be the exact same on each of the accounts. That'd be slightly nice. We need to just play more mage cards in the next recording for the Asian account. Not a big deal. That's it for this recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me, gift me a game on Steam. That helps more than you think. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.